turn some plastic into fuel. Plastiline.
Wow, what a crazy invention. I sure hope that the government doesn't hear about this. A YouTuber exploded. Today we're going to be talking about Julian Brown, a fellow content creator, inventor, who builds the most Dr. Doofenshmirtz ever inventions you've ever seen that actually have a really cool purpose.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
He blew up. I mean, the guy, like, kablowied. He literally got kablowied. He's okay, but he got kablowied. It wasn't good. I don't think blowing up's ever good, but Julian Brown is known for his machines that turn solid plastic into fuel. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Who is Julian Brown? And did the CIA try to deliver the Inventor of the Year award to him, or was this just a freak accident?
Let's turn some plastic into fuel. So this is plastic crude oil. We need to refine it and clean it up. After some time of the refiner being on, plastiline. Now this is gas station material here. That's plastiline right there.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Julian Brown, aka Nature Jab. I actually found this guy just organically, probably over a year ago at this point, and I've just been kind of keeping an eye on him. And I remember seeing a clip and seeing him, you know, break down this plastic and fuel. I'm like, that is crazy. I didn't know you could do that. Gave him a follow. And this isn't necessarily something that I would, would make a video on, and then one day I check Instagram and he blew up. So that's kind of how I found this guy and why we're making this video. We're just going to be going over, and I'm going to give you pretty much the full rundown here. So Julian claims to have built his first reactor thingy-mabobber go-go gadget when he was 18 years old, and you can see this here on a very old upload. The first upload on his channel. This is iteration 1. So I guess the reason they ended up wanting to do this was back in like 2021, he was seeing numbers about how many masks end up in the ocean and landfills, but specifically also the ocean, like, which are plastic. And this led to just like a super nihilistic view of the world. Because when you look into the plastic numbers, it is like, there's no comprehensible way to think that we can fix it, right? It's like, oh, we are 1.5 billion face masks may have entered the ocean in 2020. And I, like, least personally was, I did my part. Whenever I would go down to the beach with my car batteries, I would also bring my mask too. So I did my part in this whole thing. But, seeing this, it's like, what do you even do? Like, what do you do? That'd be like if someone was like, hey, can you pay off the national debt real quick? Bro, I know that job at Pizza Hut going good. Can you pay off the national, like, the planet's doomed! We have to move to Mars and learn how to do interspecies breeding with horses! Nah! I don't know. I don't blame him after seeing those numbers. But I guess he was inspired and he kind of looked into ways of like, yo, how do you even get rid of plastic? Because we know it takes like at least 5 years, somewhere from 5 to 10,000 years to decompose naturally, right? And plastic is actually made from oil. Fun fact. Eagles screeching U.S. government noises when they find out that the plastic in the ocean is made from oil. But yeah, so during his research, he stumbled upon this thing called pyrolysis, which is the heating of something without oxygen so it doesn't catch on fire, all right? You're going to get really nitty-gritty into some science stuff here in the front heavy science section. So you heat this stuff up without oxygen, it doesn't burn. It just breaks down into its core components, or what it was made of. It decomposes. Plastic being made from oil under pyrolysis turns back into oil, plus all of these other things, like, carbon, a lot of carbon, minerals. There's some burnable gases that come off of it, and it also turns back into oil, for lack of in a way. It turns back into a fuel, a flammable liquid. Using 500 million masks to power my BMW. I don't have a BMW. If I did, I'd be a menace. The world would be a better place without BMW drivers. Bro has a name for this stuff because it's not gasoline. He calls it plastiline. Do you get it? It's plastic and gasoline. It's plastiline. And this is the main product, I guess you could call it, from this whole process. So here's the thing though. So Julian's only background basically that helped him with any of this was he knew how to weld. He learned how to weld in high school. So he did not go in with like a chemistry knowledge, no like secret Walter White knowledge of chemistry. He simply learned everything as he went. And honestly, in this day and age, you can just do that. I'm gonna be honest, you can just do that. A degree is good because it's like, okay, you passed, you know it, but it doesn't mean that you know more than a guy who watched low view videos on YouTube on the same thing that you're researching. Like, you probably don't. So he's self-taught and continuously learning crashed this whole process. So Mr. Brown, he's got his microwave pyrolysis machine. Instead of using propane, he uses microwave transformers to heat this stuff up because it's more efficient and he can power it with solar panels. And over the last few years, you know, he's been making steady progress. He's been, I mean, look at this thing. That looks way better than the other one that we saw. And then before you know it, it looks like this. And it's like, whoa, this thing looks like a fucking time machine, dude. What is this guy building? If I saw my neighbor building this in his backyard, I'd have to step in. I don't know what I'd do, but I'd have to step in. Okay, nobody builds doohickeys without my oversight or my knowledge. So as you can see, he's making some serious progress, and he even starts getting a bit of a following on Instagram. His page is currently sitting at almost 1 million followers, and it was probably like 30,000 when I followed him, honestly. But it didn't come without its challenges. So here, I mean, you can see he almost burnt his house down. Okay, not good, dude. Like, the firefighters, when the firefighters show up to shit like this, dude, they're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? Do we call the bomb squad or do we put it out? Like, it's everybody's biggest worry throughout this journey from this point, from the beginning to this fire, was basically everyone just say, yo, it's a shame that you're gonna die by CIA gunfire. Like, it's a shame you got the Inventor of the Year award. They coming for you, bro. Watch out. Don't let them stop you. You need to take your project and move it to an undisclosed location because they don't want us carbon melanated beings to know we can change the world. Build in an undisclosed location. CIA drone working. The feds got him. Like, this is everyone's number one worry. And this is why I followed the guy, because I'm like, what if the feds do get him? You know, like, I don't know if that's kind of schizo post to me to say that, but I was genuinely like, I'm gonna follow this guy because there's like a non-zero chance that they're gonna get him. Okay, the boy's in blue. But it seems like from the very beginning, he's been taking this quite seriously. I mean, he attends events.
If you had to put a price tag on your life, how much would you say you're worth? If your answer isn't at the minimum $1 trillion, then you have work to do. If you underappreciate your own worth, you're going to surround yourself with people who do the same.
I'm worth $13. $13. Most of y'all could purchase me. But despite things like his house catching on fire and people telling him every day that the CIA is going to murder him, he just kept trucking on. And everyone seemed to be really drawn to the fact that there was a young guy just doing something cool, because simply for the fact that he wanted to do something cool. It's inspiring, man. Like, there's obviously he just really is passionate about this. And I mean, we're gonna go over his critics later, and there's actually some good tea on that shit because he does live streams with his biggest critics. And I mean, these are people who are literally like, you're a fraud! Scammer! He gets you in a call with him. It's crazy. But one of his biggest criticisms that everyone says is, for one, you're not making gasoline. Because in these early videos, he did say that a lot. He'd call it gasoline or gas or something like that, or diesel. It's not. It just simply isn't. And number two, people would be like, yo, bro, like, you didn't even invent pyrolysis, dude. Like, I was there when they invented it. You didn't even invent this, dude. This isn't new. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be new for it to be cool. The very fact that he is doing this and bringing attention to this process and this science and this field, and he's showing interest in innovation, even if he's not making anything brand new or, you know, breaking the laws of physics single-handedly, it's just cool. From a human level, it's cool. It's inspiring. It's inspiring to see somebody doing shit like this. And that's a big reason why I followed him too. I'm like, man, this is cool. And although he didn't invent this process, I'd never heard of this until him. And so many people haven't heard about this until him. And so it's cool to draw people's attention towards, you know, science and important things and getting people excited about science. Whether you're breaking the laws of physics or just turning Coke cans into fuel in your backyard, dude, it doesn't matter. It's a cool thing to get excited about.
This machine behind me uses microwave heating.
So sad he killed himself 20 gunshots to the back of the head. Oh my god, dude. You guys remember that guy who made the car that ran on water and then he got murdered by the CIA? If you said yes, you've been lied to. We actually studied this guy briefly when I was in high school because I was in engineering for 3 years. And for the longest time, I was like, hey, it's crazy. The CIA killed Stanley Meyer. Isn't that nuts? But this whole thing reminded me of him, and for this video, I tried to look into it. You know, anybody who's tried to research this and they've talked to experts, like every expert in the one big video that I watched looks like somebody that would probably have a couple of tattoos that you wouldn't want to see. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? I got a couple tattoos you don't want to see. You might want to see him. Oh my gooch. It's Peter Griffin.
Into
I don't know
fuel,
anything. That's the
gasoline,
craziest
diesel,
part.
jet fuel, and I am about to do the first ever test run, low power test run of this machine since it's been built. And of course, safety is the #1 priority. This is the condenser. This will condense the hot vapors from the plastic crude oil.
So I mean, like,
and
this is
condense it
sick,
into
dude. Like, this
liquid
shit's
fuels.
so cool.
Let's go ahead and turn this water pump on to get the condenser running. Let's go ahead and load the plastic into the
Bro's
chamber.
doing science and shit. It's badass, man. And you can see by this point, I mean, think about iteration 1. Look at this. He's upgraded this thing so much.
To allow the plastic to absorb microwaves. Turn the blades on reverse to mix the plastic with the carbon. Now we have to push in argon to push out all the oxygen. We can test that all the oxygen is out if the flame gets quenched on the output end. Yep, gets quenched. This is my test bench microwave circuitry setup, transformer, capacitor, magnetron.
Like, bro, imagine looking over your neighbor's fence and he's doing this. Is like professional neighbor behavior. This is some Dinkelberg activity, bro.
Hey, looking good, Turner.
Dinkelberg.
Fan to cool the magnetron off. Not the safest, but it'll work.
I just realized that professional neighbor behavior might be crazy, but listen, I meant in a Dinkelberg way.
I'm about to do the biggest ever run of my plastic to fuel reactor behind me here. This right here is 10 pounds or 4.5 kilos of shredded plastic. Let's put this plastic in my plastic to fuel reactor and see how much oil we make from 10 pounds of plastic. All right, plastic has been loaded into this beautiful machine. Let's go ahead and turn her on. With every single thing on in this machine, they're pulling 48.4 amps.
Like, look at this, dude. So his machine gets up to this point, right? Like, look at this. It's a big, beautiful doohickey in his backyard. He's got the big tool cabinet now to run all of the circuitry and the breaker, and like, this thing's insane. It's looking good. Think about iteration 1. Adam, put up iteration 1. Now look at this. Like, bro is legitimately about this. Like, he's really going for it. Makes me happy. Makes me smile.
After the machine has been on for some time, oils fall down the condenser system. We got oil, baby. This here is just some of the oil we got. We consumed 30 kilowatt hours over the course of about a 3-hour run. In fact, we got just under 2 liters of fuel. And for reference, 2 liters is enough to fill up this whole thing pretty much. So we definitely have more than enough oil now to start distilling. The distiller is right here, and this distiller will let us turn this into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, refine it into pure products.
So at this point in time, as you can see, things are going amazing. Bro just turned 10 pounds of plastic into a big thing of not gasoline, but a big thing of fuel. It's just fuel. Very cool. Things are going up. The machine's getting better every time. Surely nothing could go wrong. And surely Yano.rvt on Instagram is not a psychic. But nonetheless, they commented on this video. So sad to hear he was in an accident next week. Just a silly comment. Just like all the others, you know? Just a silly comment. The funniest part is this was actually a week later.
Hey, fire extinguisher.
Julian blew up! The CIA finally got him! No! He's okay. He was okay, although he did look like Markiplier. I'm not gonna lie, but like, bro looked like Markiplier. Now, of course, people's initial reaction was, they got him. And that's even the top comment. They tried to get him. Stay safe, bro. The US government stopped by and applied pressure to silence you. So did the government finally get you? Feds trying to take bro out. I said, protect my boy. What the f y'all doing? Government took this fella's ankles as a warning. It's not looking good. And this genuinely raised a lot of questions for people initially. Now, Julian did make a full recovery, but he suffered severe burns to his legs and his feet. Here's some of the clips of him in the hospital bed because, I mean, bro's just actually really funny. I'm neglected to inform you, bro's actually really funny.
Fentanyl. Look at him. Yeah, don't do crack. Oh, I was gonna get you the barbecue for us. I guess not.
I got barbecue.
Yeah. Stop all that shaking, man.
It hurts, man.
Oh.
What can I do? Can't do nothing but shake. It burns. It feels like I'm being cooked.
Hey,
Cooked piece of right here.
boy,
Being
stop.
cooked. I'm shaking. I'm being cooked alive by some damn invisible fire. The Holy Ghost.
Boy.
The Holy Ghost is burning me right. I can't even see the fire. I'm burning.
Boy, she peeled you like an onion. Got you down to the true pink meat. Took off that old the devil.
Freddie Krueger.
Boy, she peeled you like an onion. I can't show you the uncensored pictures of his leg because I mean these are serious burns, and these type burns where they gotta like they scrub the skin off. You know, maybe you don't know. I mean, it's gross. If you didn't know, I'm sorry. But yeah, they scrub the skin off. Yeah, it's bad.
Who ordered some Zaxby's skinless chicken?
Oh my god. Oh.
Who ordered Church's chicken on a Monday?
You gotta blur that too. But although Julian's legs did look like some like breadless chicken wings from Publix, they did make a full recovery. And believe it or not, bro was not deterred. He got straight back to it. And I mean, everything's looking up. His channel's doing good. His project's getting recognition. I'm pretty sure at some point he got a 776 grant, which is like $100,000 over 2 years. And I know that people are definitely helping with the project too. And he even stopped operating experimental homemade science projects in his backyard in sandals, and he got some proper PPE and protection.
You should already know what we do with this machine back here. We turn plastic waste into fuel. So let's go ahead and do it just like this. Oh, wait. That's right. That salsa, baby. I got the protective equipment. And I gotta thank every last one of you. Everybody who's donated to the GoFundMe, to the Cash Apps, to the website.
This still, although it's swaggy as hell, is not, you know, proper safety equipment. But bro got it. I mean, he got the safety equipment. He survived the explosion, possible attempt on his life. He had made so many improvements to his machine and he got safety equipment. But there's still that question, why did he blow up? Was this simply a fault of his own, maybe faulty equipment? Was this the government silencing a man who has gone viral for informing people that you can turn plastic back into oil? Did the CIA? There's a clip I'm gonna click on. Am I at risk for turning plastic into fuel?
So, I turn plastic waste into fuel. Am I at risk of the government? No, I'm not. Now, I will also say this just to put it out there, because people ask all the time. I am in amazing mental health, have nothing but gratitude for all of life and for the work I do. But the truth of the matter is, no, I'm not at any type of risk of the government or any body or organization turning plastic waste into fuel. The process of pyrolysis is not something I invented. Turning plastic waste into fuel, or waste in general into fuel, has been around forever.
Bro, wait. Bro just said no, but also throughout the I am mentally sound. Like, is that like a no yes? Because, like...
And it's not new, and there are already companies that do it, universities that do it everywhere. So it's no threat to the government. I will say this, though. There is a threat, and the threat is when you change the mindset and the paradigm of the system. And the truth is, we've been conditioned that in order to do things, you need to have government backing, certification degree backing, labs, all this stuff. And I'm doing it in my backyard with none of that at a very young age. And that does shift and change the mindset and the paradigm of what we've been told. And that right there can put you at risk, because why? You're pushing something opposite of what has been pushed. You're pushing self-sufficiency. You're pushing not just conforming to what you're told. You're pushing being a free thinker. You're pushing being an innovator. And those are deeper things. They go much deeper than just turning plastic into fuel or anything into fuel.
I relate, bro. I relate about being a pushing and being an innovator, dude. I'm, No Square was... I could have got waxed for No Square. Just leave it at that.
That actually are a threat to the system as a whole. And why? Because these particular things, right, they do kind of make you question how things are.
This is a random note, but I have that exact like Aztec wall art hanged thing behind him. I had it my entire life growing up from my stepdad, I believe, and I literally had it in my room most of my life until I moved out and made Nono Square. That is fucking weird. Give that back to me. Okay, listen, I couldn't find a picture of it in my house, but you have to believe me. You have to believe me. You also have to believe me that my local state government is running a psyop on me, and they keep making the same Hummer EV drive past my house every single day because they're keeping tabs because they know what I'm building. You gotta believe that too. I would love to become like an insufferable conspiracy theorist one day.
So that's the real risk that could be posed to me and what could really be putting me at risk. But turning plastic into fuel in itself does not at all put me at any type of risk because, like I said, it's already been done. So with that being said, I mean, what do I do? What do I say? I really don't care, to be honest with you, because it doesn't matter. You know, I can be in the mindset of, oh my goodness, I'm at risk because I'm doing something that may be shifting a paradigm, and I could be worried, but that's not going to help it happen anymore. That's not going to help it progress where it needs to be anymore. So what's the point of that? There's no point in being in fear. That's only slowing things down. If I can continue to do what I do, and most importantly, inspire people, that's all that matters, because it doesn't matter what happens to me. If I inspire people, then regardless of anything that happens to me, people are going to go and do their thing anyway. And if something did happen to me, people will just continue the same energy. You know, here's the thing. Ideas are bulletproof. And that's just the fact of the matter. It does not matter what happens to me. I'm not bulletproof, but the idea is the idea of we don't just have to rely on anybody or any organization to do anything for us. If our oceans are polluted and we want them fixed, we can do it.
Bro is inspirational as hell, dude. Like, you gotta give him credit for it.
We don't want to have to go to war and destroy our fellow humans for this resource called oil because we know we can make it from plastic. Then let's just do it. We don't need to wait to get a green light from anybody. We ourselves can do it. That's facts, because we ourselves as humans are the same thing as all these big organizations. They just have a whole bunch of humans that they pay, right, to do these things, do their bidding. But we are humans, right? And we can do the same stuff for the better or the worse. But we all know, come on, ultimately, and at the end of the day, it's greed that drives these companies and things. But it's morals and compassion that drives the common man and common woman, right?
I had a smear on my screen, like on his face, and I was just sitting there listening to him, but I was kind of petting his forehead trying to get it off.
If it was in most people's hands, most people would choose to do the right thing above the thing that makes them the most money. That's just the truth of the matter. So when you learn that you can do it and it is in your hands, the power is in your hands, the power is in our hands collectively together as the people, it's up to what we choose to do together. Then you start to go into something deeper, because look at this. I've been doing this project for 4 years. You guys crowdfunded me to get me a built Mark 4.5. I blew myself up. You guys crowdfunded me to get back up and go at it even harder. I am. So we are doing this. That's why I say let's change the world, because yes, I'm building this machine, but I'm just a vessel. It's us ultimately building this. It's our will. It's us being tired and exhausted of waiting on somebody else. Why did it take somebody 20 years old with no college degrees in anything, except for welding certifications, to build something, to get people united and round up together to deal with plastic waste?
It's a really good point, all right? It is a really, really good point. It took like a 20-year-old with no college degrees associated to anything that he's doing other than being a welder, which has nothing to do with it, really, just kind of helps. Why did it take him to build any sort of hype or even public knowledge of this process beyond like the niche of people who might work in fields related? You know, like,
to get people united and round up together to deal with plastic waste, when there's companies that have had the capability and the money and the funds forever to research a process which has been around forever. Why did it take all of that? Because this game is political, because this game is monetary, this game is based on greed. But I'm telling you that us as the people, we're not just purely based on greed. That's not our focus. So we can shift the game. We can break the mold now. We can make it to where you can have a financially viable business that's not based on greed, but based on morals and based on doing things right and based on the people together.
So all in all, more than likely, the CIA did not blow him up. Okay, I know, From his account, everything, it was just a mistake. So Mr. Brown talks a lot in that about kind of like making this more an initiative of like just doing it yourself and creating excitement and eyes around this concept. Kind of just, yeah, building excitement around this whole concept and trying to get people to kind of take it seriously and look into it more and to further it himself. He even has this really good line in an interview that he did with somebody that I'll play for you right now.
It's just been me, and I would like to change that, of course. It's all about working together and growing. It is hard, it's difficult, because doing something like this, you never know who really has the right intentions. And like I said, I'm doing this for humanity and Earth, but of course people will see the money in it because of course I'm making fuel. It's a big money industry. And so a lot of people will come to me acting like they actually care about humanity when they only care about the profits.
So he claims to be mostly doing this for humanity, and it's not so much about the profits. Now introducing the haters.
Can you spread warm oil across your body?
There we go.
What's up, man?
Nice to
What's
finally
up?
connect with you.
So Mr. Brown has had a lot of career haters over his time on the internet, and the interesting thing that he does that I like is he actually will get these people on live stream and basically be like, okay, let's talk, let's hash it out, let's kind of bounce our heads back and forth so that you can express your opinions on things and why you think what I'm doing is not working, and I can either rebuttal that or take that knowledge in stride and learn from it. But some of the accusations that these people make are pretty serious. I mean,
Dude,
listen to
it's
this.
just saying from the get-go, I'm a scammer. You say that a lot in your comments, right? So let me ask you that. Let me ask you, why do you think I'm a scammer if I tell people I'm going to be building this machine and I don't, they send me a donation or they don't, and they literally see things being built in the flesh? How is that by definition a scam?
Well, that's going back to the gasoline part, right? So you give people the hope that you are actually producing gasoline. You're giving people the hope that you're producing natural gas, that you're producing diesel, that you're producing crude oil, that you're producing things that they know. Well, in fact, the analysis shows that it's benzene and styrene, so it's not gasoline. I mean, you can't even burn it without a respirator. Because you'll get cancer from the exhaust fumes. So it's at best extremely misleading to say that it's gasoline, and at worst it's a scam.
Like that's a pretty serious critique, and yeah, that's some pro hating right there. And now this guy in the bottom is one of his biggest haters and one of his biggest naysayers. The guy, he looks like he accidentally took his prescribed Adderall like 10 times. Like this guy looks wired. I always feel like anyone who has their eyes open like this looks like that. I don't know. That's just me. Like, because I'm almost falling asleep at every moment. So when I see someone who's like, could you guys imagine if I talked to you like this all the time? Anyways, so basically this guy's turning plastic into fuel and the CIA blew him up. Any questions? Like that's weird. It's weird. But this guy, I mean, I actually saw him in his comment sections over the year, just kind of being like, this guy's a scammer. He's lying about X, Y, and Z. Now, I will say Julian in all of these videos, I watched like all of them, does a remarkably good job. He doesn't lose his cool. He's very, very professional, I would say. And he does acknowledge some things that he definitely did wrong. One of which being his biggest critique from this guy who's like, actually, you're not making gasoline, which is fair. In a lot of his old clips, he would claim that he's making diesel gasoline, these things that you would know as a random person when realistically that's not what he's making. And he realized this, and it is totally misleading, but I think we need to remember that this guy is literally putting everything into learning and progressing in this field, in this thing that he is super interested in, that he feels like could benefit humanity. He is growing and learning, and his initial videos on YouTube with his first reactor, he's 18. Nobody is perfect, and I think if his biggest crime is just calling it gasoline and getting too hype instead of calling it like his, I don't know, fuel or plastiline, then we're doing pretty good. You feel me?
The point of this machine is not even to make fuel. The point of this machine is to truly destroy plastic waste and not just turn it from like one bottle to another bottle, but truly destroy it on a chemical level.
He also does get questioned a lot about like, where is the money going? Where did the $100,000 from that grant go to? I don't know if like these people, these critics have eyeballs or not, but I don't think it's of any question whether or not this guy is just like scamming people out of money. There's no way. There's no way. If you are a scammer, you're trying to get hype on something and scam someone out of their hard-earned blooms, their hard-earned ducats, this is not the way to do it. This dude is, I mean, constantly posting about innovating and updating his machine, and he constantly is doing things and building things and upgrading and buying things. Like, if he was a scammer, you know what he would have done? He would have done this. He would have made like this one right here. He would have clip farmed the fuck out of it, okay? Clip farmed the fuck out of it, and then maybe upgraded it, pocketed most of the money, made some small upgrades, kind of rechange the appearance of it to make it look more advanced. He wouldn't actively be upgrading it like this. Like, the dude is very obviously putting all of the money towards this. And in terms of $100,000 grant, man, I don't know if y'all know how easy it is when you like think about doing something like this, how easy it would be to spend $100,000. Like, honestly, like in the grand scheme, that is like chips. That is literally, it's pennies. It's pennies, bruv. Also, he talks in a British accent that is somewhat ingrained his entire vernacular in a lot of his clips, and it's really funny. I don't look at what he does and be like, I feel like you're pocketing the money, you know? I feel like you're pocketing. He's constantly improving his everything, his whole setup. All of it. Like, there's very obvious growth. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I obviously can't confirm. I don't know him. I don't see it. I don't see him pocketing this money. I see him actively innovating and improving his machine.
You said it was clean, right?
No,
But it does burn. It does
by
work in
calling
engines,
it by
right? So
calling
by
it
definition, it's a
gasoline.
fuel product.
But
Basically, with my eyes after reviewing all of this, what he is guilty of is getting really hype. He gets really hype. He calls it gasoline. It's not gasoline. He calls it gasoline. Oh no. And he clarifies at the moment it's brought up. I don't know. I don't see it as big of a deal. He clarified it. And I feel like he's gonna have some pretty fat gamer nuts to get on Instagram Live and debate his biggest haters that are ready, guns and swords drawn, to tear him apart. Like, that's why they're there.
Look up pyrolysis literature. Even in pyrolysis literature, they literally say we could turn plastic into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. So I was just basing that stuff off of the literature I read, and then I'm over here distilling it, and it's coming over at the same boiling points as gasoline, diesel, jet fuel.
I mean, yeah, from that, what? He's guilty of making assumptions because he's learning and then correcting them.
It's a fair guess to say it is gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, but of course I'm growing. I'm 21. I've been doing this for 4 years since high school. I'm growing as a scientist and growing in the process. And what I was saying is, I feel like your tone in comments, you act like nothing can be improved. You act like it's over. You act like it can't be improved just because it's been done before. Just because right now it might be toxic. And I think that you might be too pessimistic. Like, I'm not saying be optimistic. You can be realistic.
I'm not bullying, but like,
And we can see this in pyrolysis.
thank God. I was waiting for bro in the bottom to look
as
away,
you
bro.
read
He's been
all-
staring at the camera for 14 minutes. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of just, you know, his main purpose for doing this is not necessarily to be making fuel, but to eliminate that plastic waste, that physical plastic waste, and turn it into something useful instead of sitting and rotting in the ocean. It's not necessarily about power efficiency or power output or anything. It's just eliminating that physical plastic waste so maybe it doesn't end up in your balls. You know, 100% of guys have microplastics in their balls. But don't worry, Julian Brown's got a solution. All right, he's got a solution. He's gonna microwave your balls and turn them into oil.
Since the machine uses heat to break down things, it breaks down everything. So you could even put like dirty diapers inside of the machine and it will break them down because it's breaking down everything on a chemical level.
Could you imagine getting ran off the road by a BMW driver whose car is powered by hamsters? Future is here, folks. It's here.
No, don't touch me there, is what I told my uncle, but he didn't seem to care. It's my secret little spot.
You put no square over that, please, 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 please. Can you put in me asking to put no square over that as well, please, please, please? But yeah, that's the gist. There's the rundown. There's the rundown on Julian Brown, aka Nature Jab, and why he exploded, what happened. He's just doing something cool and bringing eyes to science and exciting stuff that doesn't make you feel like the whole world is fucking collapsing in on itself. He's a young guy who's doing cool shit, and he's excited about that cool shit, and that excitement is inspiring. That's what the point is. And also, he's funny as fuck. Don't get me wrong. He's hilarious. He says the most random shit.
And it's amazing to me. It's like, it feels like alchemy or magic. I could take this
liquid that's literally blacker than me, and I'm the blackest thing there is on this earth. Oh my goodness, the plastiline, man. It's so... Man, this oil is so clean, man. Diddy would want some. Diddy would want 1,000 bottles of what I made right here. I mean, look at it.
Hit the gas to get the flood out of the carburetor. Hold the gas. A little bit more time.
Like, I love this. I love this, bro.
There we go.
Yeah, he did it.
There we go.
Like, look at him. Look at him, dude. He's cheesing, bro.
There's plastic in here. Let's mow the lawn.
Bro about to mow the lawn off a weed whacker that's powered by like 14 bottles, Coke bottles, bro. Like, it's like almost a 10-minute video, and most of it's him trying to start the weed whacker, dude. Bro's doing cool stuff. He's doing cool stuff, and it's just fun to see. It's fun to see somebody excited about something cool. I'm glad he blew... wait a minute. I was about to say I'm glad that he's okay after exploding, but I just almost said I'm glad he blew up. Bro did explode. Most of us don't explode. Most people, you know, won't, but he did explode. So that's pretty crazy. And yeah, he stands on business. You know, people call him out. He'll debate it and talk about it, and on stream live in front of people. That's fucking terrifying. I would never do that. I would never do that. I would simply consult my team of 30 lawyers and consulants, and they would form some sort of well-crafted, probably somewhat bland response. So that's what I would do. I would never get on live stream and talk about that shit. I don't know. Bro's cool. He blew up. Go check him out. His channel is linked down in the description. There's an Instagram, TikTok. Go look at what he's doing, you know, for yourself. Take a look into his content, kind of look at what he's doing, and, you know, I know he has like a GoFundMe and, you know, other ways that you can support him, and even just I'm sure checking out the channel would support too. It's cool. It's cool. I like it. I'm glad he's okay. I can't get the image of his legs with their skin scrubbed off out of my head, though, and I don't think I ever will. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want me to make more videos like yapping about people like this, like I enjoy doing it. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I haven't done it a lot, so I'm always worried that people are gonna be like, what's this, you know, or like, I don't know. It's fun though. I love you guys. See you next time. Bye.